Welcome, welcome to Wickerson Studios. Pretty excited about this. Let's check what I have going on sound. As you can see, you could just make an assignment for yourself, and it's a matter of minutes. I made the onion. I made the parametric bridge truss. I fixed a few problems with Rhino Common. The seashell was what I was playing with last time, but let's take a look at the tree here, which is really easy. We'll make this script a little bigger. It's not where I actually work it because it's a little cumbersome right here. But what I'm doing is I'm using ChatGPT from text prompts to produce geometries or 3D geometries into Grasshopper. And I'm quite happy with a parametric curve output. So as you can see, this is a pretty awesome fractal script running in GhPython. I did not copy it from anything. I simply asked the I asked ChatGPT-4 to make it for me. Pretty simple. So you can imagine if you start like throwing in, like if you do anything with this nice little base script, just to show you like what happens if you've got like a range that you want to throw it through in this, and then boom, you can see that kind of explodes out. And if you want to kind of pull it up this way or graph it one way or the other, you start having some pretty cool graphics from very minimal amounts of stuff happening. So if you're good with curves and you want to produce some nice curves and have some nice scripts, I wanted to show you that this is capable of being produced. I'm going to take about 10 minutes to produce each script and stop when I'm done. I'm not going to produce it this way, but I'm going to show you how I made it. Generally, you just go in, you get yourself a GhPython node, and you start, writing. And then you're like, oh, what libraries do I have to import? Oh my goodness. Okay, what are all the parameters that I need? This one's going to give them to you right off the bat. They may add a few. It's already into tree data. It's already imported the Grasshopper kernel for me, the Grasshopper kernel types for me. That's so I can handle data trees and GHPaths. It's 50 lines of script that I'd hate to make myself, and most of it's wasted on hard coding in numbers. So really, it's not that big a script. 30 lines of script that builds a beautiful fractal tree. You don't have to get anything online. This script itself is available to anybody who can do basically this. So if anybody's online, I am watching the chat because I'm not going to try and make these while on chat because that's a little cumbersome and you always hit problems, and sometimes they frustrate me. But I've never gotten so frustrated I've stopped. I maybe stopped the geometry, but I didn't stop completely like my idea. So right here, I said create a GhPython script for creating a tree in Grasshopper node in Rhino, and immediately it wants to make a data tree, and yada 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 yada. It does it, and I said no. Create a script that generates a natural fractal tree growth geometry, and it did it. Didn't work. And I said, uh-oh, I went over here and there was a red flag on my node. And while I was looking at that red flag, you can just type in what that red flag is. Rhino geometry has no attribute data tree. So it put it back in. You'll see that what it made was a few changes to what it had to import. It immediately imported what it needed to do, which I normally would go to a forum and look for it. Done. Bang. Next, expected GH curve got a line curve. And I tried that and it was like, it didn't really work. And I was like, okay, maybe I should type it in exactly what the error says. Expected GH underscore curve, comma, dot, GH line. Immediately it tried to resolve it. And then I had a problem with the GH underscore structure, GH underscore curve, object has no attribute merge. And you'll see I came back to this, but this is really incredible. 10-minute little short video. I hope I'm recording this. Let me just check. I am. So this is going to be up online soon. So I put that in again, and immediately it said the GH structure curve has no attribute merge subtree. Now remember, it keeps trying to fix itself. But you do want to read those things. And then this script is running, but not producing a geometry. It was working fine, but I wasn't getting anything out. I didn't know if it was the parameters that were set or something that had gone wrong. So it immediately came back, and I had the same problem with the merge again. I was like, oh no, it's going to go in a loop, and it's not going to heal itself. But I figured it out. And so all I had with the all data method takes exactly one argument, and 0 was given. So that's why it wasn't running. So I ran it with 1, and the GH structure curve object has no attribute branch count. So it imported whatever it had to do to fix that. And boom, shebang, I'm done. I've got a fractal tree. I didn't have to get it from any site. I didn't have to bring anything. We're talking 10 minutes. This is available to me as a geometry, as a node, as something that I can use, and I don't have to look for it in somebody's plugin. So if I know what I want to get, I'm just going to keep running through this. And of course, all I'm doing is cutting and pasting this. I'm copying this script over from here, immediately going back to what everybody's comfortable with, which is Rhino with Grasshopper. And it looks like to my boss or my work or my teacher or my students that Michael Wickerson's a genius because he can go into the GhPython node and whip up something like this in 30 lines and know exactly what he's doing without debugging. Now that's absolutely insane. And I love it. It makes my life a lot easier. It cleans up my Grasshopper script. It's one solid node that does what I need to do. And I could take that script, and as long as it didn't have too much Rhino geometry, which it does, I'm having a little trouble going back into hops and trying to use a hops node. But I'm like, why am I using a hops node when it can work with the GhPython node? But the GhPython node has its limitations. They can be fixed with GhPython remote, or you can fix with compute Rhino 3D, which I'm still having a little trouble with, and I'm watching all those tutorials, and I see they don't focus on that too much in there. They leave it as a 3D Rhino 3DM geometries. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to turn this off, post that one,